This is the cheapest thing in your kitchen. It's also why a country lost its government and never got it back. Not funded a coup. Started one. Why is the cheapest fruit on earth the most expensive thing a country ever paid for? One company owned 42% of an entire country. Not invested in, owned. The land. The railroads. The mail. A fruit company was the government. They called it El Pulpo. The octopus. Here's what that felt like. Mail a letter, the stamp paid the company. Ride a train, the ticket paid the company. It owned the ports, the railroads, and paid almost no tax. Its private fleet was larger than the navies of many countries it operated in. A fruit company, with more ships than governments. When you own a country's bloodstream, you don't ask permission. You are permission. So what happens when a country says no? Meet the man who did it first. A dock in New Orleans. Crates of bananas rotting in the heat, the ones the big company dumped as garbage. And one penniless immigrant, Sam Zeme, seeing a fortune everyone else was throwing away. He got rich on garbage fruit. A genius. This is a business story. A great one. Until Honduras raised his taxes. So Zeme hired mercenaries, bought a U.S. Navy warship, and installed the president he'd chosen. A man who sold rotting fruit bought a country. And it worked. If one man could do that in 1911, imagine the whole company by 1954. This is Jacobo Arbenz. He's about to make the most reasonable decision of his life. It will kill him. Elected 1950. He sees the octopus owns half his country, and most of that land sits empty. Banked to keep rivals out. So he says, give the idle land to families who have none. And he offers to pay for it. At what price? The value United Fruit wrote on its own tax forms, the value it faked for years, to pay less. Its own lie became the price of its own land. So it demanded 25 times more, and called him the thief. How does that end with him dead in a bathtub? Watch who he was really up against. United Fruit didn't send an army. It made a phone call. And in Washington, almost everyone who'd decide its fate was already on its payroll. The Secretary of State, John Foster Dulles. His law firm worked for United Fruit for decades. He personally wrote the land deal that gave the company a seventh of the country. His brother ran the CIA. The Assistant Secretary for the region owned United Fruit stock. His brother had been the company's president. And the official steering the coup at the State Department? Within months, he took a seat on IT's board. Even the president's private secretary was married to United Fruit's top PR man. There was no communist threat. There was a banana company. And nearly everyone calling a democracy fell not to an army, to a radio show. The CIA had 480 men. Not enough for one town. So they built a fake station, the Voice of Liberation, and broadcast a war that wasn't happening. Phantom armies. Invented defeats. Recorded in Miami, played over Guatemala. The army heard a rebellion that didn't exist and surrendered to it. A democracy fell, to a sound effect. In Guatemala City, a 26-year-old doctor named Ernesto watched a democracy fall to a lie. The world would later call him Che Guevara. This is the day it radicalized him. And the man who offered to pay for his own land? Arbenz resigned, on live radio. You can hear his voice shake. He spent his last years moving between countries that didn't want him. In 1971, he was found drowned in his bathtub. Alone. He was 57. The land went back to the company. Guatemala fell into 36 years of war. 200,000 dead. Over empty land, the company was offered a fair price for. You're thinking, terrible, long ago, over. It isn't over. United Fruit is still here. You know it now as Chiquita, the blue sticker on your fruit. In 2024, 2 years ago, an American jury found Chiquita liable for financing death squads that killed banana workers' families. Same company. Same fruit. Your century. Which leaves the question you've held the whole time. The banana your grandparents ate was wiped out. A fungus took it off the world's plantations. You're eating its replacement. And the replacement is dying too. Same fungus. Now, why can't it fight back? Every banana on Earth is a clone. Identical. No seeds. One gets sick, they all do. So look again. You have never chosen a banana. A company chose it for you, cheapest to ship, the one that survived their last disaster. Your grandparents ate one you'll never taste. Your kids will eat a third chosen the same way, by whatever company outlives all of this. You were never the customer of this story. You're just the last person, holding the fruit, and no one asked you. If this rewired the most ordinary thing in your kitchen, that's this channel. One secret a week. Subscribe. And tell me, can you still look at a banana the same way?